Guys, what's up? Darcy here at 6 Strings 9 Lives, back from a little bit of a winter vacation. Trying to escape a little bit of the Canadian winter, which overall hasn't been bad. I am not going to bitch about that, but good to get away, good to get home, and good to get back on here. Waiting for me was this, my first box set that I ordered this year, which we will review and go over right here. But this is the David Lee Roth, the Warner recordings, 1985 to 1994. I'll show you more in a second. But yeah, this is the first of the box sets that I have ordered. I do have two other box sets on pre-order. Number two, and a really important one to me, is the Rush 50th. And also I did decide to get the Halloween March of Time, which is basically represents their 40 years, I think 17, 18 studio albums, kind of taking the best out of every album. The tracks that they chose, which I really think they did a good job overall. If you're new to Halloween, that March of Time set will be perfect for you. It gives you a little bit from every album. But yeah, I was definitely looking forward to this one. And what I'll do today is, per my usual with these box sets, and if you're tuned in here, you know that I do love a good box set. I like when they take an era or a period of a band and just contain it in one set. I would say in this set, most of this is essential David Lee Roth, but we'll go over that because we'll do the mini ranking. Like I said, or probably didn't say yet, but I usually will give you my thoughts. We'll do some comparisons on some original vinyl I have and a couple of CDs. I'll tell you about what I heard and how these sound. We will, and at the end, we'll do a little bit of a mini ranking of what's in this box set. We'll even include the EP. But yeah, great set. Just released February 21st. Mine's been kicking around since February 22nd. So, but I wasn't home to do this. But what else can I tell you? These are all remastered. They sound, well, we'll talk about the sound in a second. This was also an exclusive set. And what I think they mean about exclusive set is the box itself is exclusive to Rhino Records. 2,000 of these were made. Let me show you the back. So this contains Crazy from the Heat, the EP from 1985. Then we have Eat 'em and Smile, Skyscraper, A Little Ain't Enough, and Your Filthy Little Mouth, and that one's from 94. Let me show you the spine. Hold that up like this. And then all the albums. These fit in here perfect. I will tell you, they didn't come with anti-static sleeves. I've re-sleeved them and kept the inner in. And there's still plenty of room. So there's nothing to worry about with those. They're sitting in there perfect. They're not stuffed in there, which I'm going to remove them right away because we'll review them. The other thing is it came in beautifully packaged within a box within a box. And this is a really cool box. It's kind of, I had a Rush box set that was kind of, custom made like this one. So you got DLR right there, David Lee Roth. You got the leopard print on the sides and on the back, kind of like a claw mark, and Rhino, Warner, and then you've got the manufacturer sticker there. So yes, well packaged. This box was within another box filled with some paper and stuff, so it wasn't bouncing around. So job well done on that. What else can I tell you? So basically this was released right around 40 years after Crazy from the Heat was released. I did tell you they were remastered. So this set is also available in a CD set, and that one is available, basically anywhere, Amazon or wherever you buy your music. Now this box itself, like I said, I think it's exclusive, but all these records came sealed, which my theory on that is, if you're just holding out for one or two of the albums, like the harder ones to get, which were the two on CD that I wanted to get on vinyl, they will get released. I guarantee you, Warner has done that with most of their stuff. Any of the Black Sabbath stuff, they'll initially put out the box set and then each individual. So yeah, it was kind of weird to see them sealed inside the box, but I think that's the reason why. But well, I'm just babbling on. Let's just get into this set. I'm gonna, like I said, I will give you my thoughts. We're gonna do some comparisons on artwork with the originals, and then at the end we'll do that little bit of a mini ranking. So yeah, anyways, the box, super sturdy, just like any of the other ones, the Van Halen ones. So starting off, this set contains, let me just set this aside here so I don't mess anything up. So first up is the EP, and the artwork is superb. It's very good. I'm going to show you a little bit of comparison because like the Van Halen set and other box set reissues, there is a little bit of darkness. But as far as just sharp and not fuzzy, these are great. So here's my original, and you can see for sure with the, where are we here? Let's go this way. All right, so here is the new reissue. Little bit more green, brighter. Here's the original. I think this is a Canadian pressing, but true to the original. There's no altered cover or anything like that, which I do love. They even got the how did they word it there? Specially priced 4-cut EP. So no problem there. The center rings are a little bit different. The original, if you have it, it's got the, the standard Warner Brothers logo like this, which I've always loved that logo. And as far as vinyl weight on these, I would say they're not 180. I think I even made a mistake on my Van Halen. I think these are more like 160. But here is the reissue, which I've re-sleeved, and the center ring for Crazy from the Heat is definitely a lot more plain. But the inner sleeve is true to the original, just a different kind of quality of paper. Now these vinyl came within these sleeves, and yes, super staticky, stuck in there, but I get it. They don't throw in anti-static sleeves. Some do, some don't. Not the end of the world to me for sure. But getting them out, you pretty much have to, what I do is I just open them up. I literally blow on the bag and get some airflow in there, get them out, kind of clean them up a little bit, try to get some of that static out. But so yeah, there's Crazy from the Heat, and I'll talk a little bit about the songs and things like that when I do the mini ranking. And here is Eat 'em and Smile, which this one, they did a great job. I mean, you could basically hardly tell. I will show you maybe if I can, the spots that where the color is darker, but there's so much color on this cover to begin with that it's hard to tell if they, but the spot I saw is, yeah, it's even on here, it just looks, I'd say it's a little bit darker. Where is this is the reissue on the bottom. So it lost a little bit of the darkness. The cover's not actually cut off. It's just lost a little bit of the color on here, which for this album and all the colors, who gives a shit? It's pretty awesome. There's the back cover too, with my original. I will set my original aside for now. The center rings are exact replicas of the originals with Dave on the front, just like the front cover. And exact replica of the inner sleeve too. Good quality paper. Small seam split on this one right here. Nothing to worry about. I mean, that's going to happen with these things bouncing around. And fortunately, that's probably about the only little bit of damage I got on here. No warpage whatsoever. I'm happy with that. I've played every one of these, and we'll get into the, I could talk about the sound as we go, because this is one that I did a side-by-side comparison. And what I found is exactly what I found with the two Van Halen sets. And just side-by-side, the reissues, I had to turn them up a little bit, not a significant amount, to achieve the same, same sound level. And like I've said 1,000 times, I don't have a trained ear. I don't need everything perfect. A lot of these, older albums and stuff from the 80s. I just play them in my mind anyways. I just want to hear them. But as far as just sound, there's nothing wrong with the reissues. But what I did notice too on the reissue, the bass is actually a little bit better, a little bit more up front, but not dominating in any way. But yeah, volume wise, turn it up a little bit, same shit. Next up in the set is Skyscraper, 1988. Now this one, I do have an original of that too. And just like on Crazy from the Heat, let me do this. A little bit on the color too, because on Crazy from the Heat, Dave looked almost a little bit sunburnt. He does here too on the reissue. So, but as far as just sharpness, definition, all the logos and stuff, there's just nothing to worry about on there. But a little bit on the color, hard to tell on here, and that's good because really, if you don't have originals of some of these, there's just nothing wrong with these reissues. And like I said earlier in the video, if you're just holding out because you're only missing the last two of the set, they're definitely going to get reissued individually. I could pretty much guarantee you that, because it's a lot of the same. A lot of the people do have these first three, but those A Little Ain't Enough and Your Filthy Little Mouth are just super costly. They're hard to find, so just be patient if you don't want the box to put these things in. But there is Skyscraper, and the only difference on the back with these logos too is this is an updated Warner Brothers logo, and here is the old one we really know, even from the old cartoons, stuff like that. So let's hold this one back for that mini ranking. Now, next up in the set is just a great album, which you'll soon see where this one lands. But this one, if you found an original of this, you were going to pay big bucks. There was one available a couple of years ago at a place, but it was $200 Canadian. Thinking back, that almost would have been a good deal, but I paid for this whole set, for less than $200. So here is A Little Ain't Enough from 1991. Yeah, hey, same year as my favorite from the Sammy era of Van Halen, which is For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. But yeah, great job. Black cover, good definition. I do have my original CD here. I could hold it up and show you because this reissue looks better. It's just that little devil guy on the front cover looks way more defined. The black just pops with that red. So actually, we're going to give the reissue the edge over this CD. But again, sound-wise, I did a little bit of a comparison to the CD. This vinyl sounds better. Like I said, the bass is great, but there's nothing wrong. If you're just sticking with your original CD, you're not upgrading that much. You're just getting the vinyl because you want the vinyl type of thing. So let me show you what's inside in case you do have an original of this sitting at home. So here's just the plain Warner Brothers logo, plain on both sides. I will just set that aside. And then the inner sleeve is all the credits. And same thing, same picture as in the CD. And when we get to the ranking, I'm going to mention some, who is in this band. I mean, if you're watching this, you probably know the whole 9 yards already. Anyway, so there is the inner for that. A Little Ain't Enough. So let's set that one aside. And then last in this set is, so those were all Warner Brothers. And I remember when this CD came out, it came out on Reprise. So I don't know if I was surprised that this was included, but the Reprise is pretty much a division of this whole company anyway. So good. I'm glad it was included. And here's the vinyl version, and the cover is superb. There's just no issues with the artwork whatsoever. And there is the original CD, and great job on that. Great job on the back. And I would say this one, if you have a vinyl version of this, it's probably rare. And oh yeah, I forgot about that. This is the Reprise logo. I know this from, geez, there's a couple Dio albums like this. Lock Up the Wolves, that was on Reprise. And the one after too. Anyways, that's what the center ring looks like for your filthy little mouth. And then here is the, oh yeah, I remember this is cool. This is the inner sleeve for this album. And there's no, yeah, those are all the lyrics. And then on the flip side, just a song list and credits. Because this album, Dave played with a lot of people, which I should put that aside in case I need to reference that. But those are all the albums in the set. Like I said, and if you're just tuning in the middle of the video, sound-wise, I will give the edge for volume definitely to the originals. But the overall sound, if you just turn up the reissues a little bit, the bass is just awesome. There's some, again, some nice warm spots in these albums. And if you're just wanting a great set, I don't know what the CD set sounds like. Let me know in the comments if you picked that up, but nothing wrong with the sound whatsoever. Now I'm going to sort these out for a little bit of a mini ranking like I usually do with these videos, and tell you a little bit my favorite songs. And if you've tuned into this channel, I listen to anything from, you know, it's a little bit of death metal all the way through to glam, hair metal, whatever you want to call it, traditional metal, thrash, and I love this kind of stuff like David Lee Roth. This, I just kind of forgot how fun these albums are, and how kind of just a goofy lyric-wise Dave is, and just a great frontman. He's one of my favorite frontmen in all of hard rock, metal, if you want to. I wouldn't call this metal, but you know what I mean. But yeah, just an awesome frontman. But let's go into this little bit of a mini ranking. And if you've picked up this set, or you're looking to get some of these albums, just let me know in the comments, because yeah, well worth it. Price was right. But let's go for this. Coming in at, and we're going to include the EP, so we're going to say coming in at number 5, we're going to go from worst to first, and this is coming in at number 5 is Your Filthy Little Mouth from 1994. Now this album, for me, one second, it's a little bit all over the place. 94, I think Dave was starting to lose his way a little bit. You know, long gone is Steve Vai, Billy Sheehan, Greg Bissonette isn't even on this album. Played with a lot of different players on this. One guitar player on here, what is his name? Because I didn't really know that well. Okay, so you got Terry Kilgore on guitar. He's actually really good. And then Steve Hunter, also a really good guitar player, but really kind of just I know they're David Lee Roth solo albums, but this is really more Dave with just working with a bunch of guys. But standouts on this one, I would say She's My Machine, excuse me, not a bad track at all. Big Train, not bad. There's also an underlying on a few songs, kind of a country rock vibe, and I'm not just saying that because of the, there's a duet here with Travis, what's his name, Travis Tritt or something, Cheatin' Heart Cafe, that Dave does with him. But there's also a couple other songs that have that little bit of a kind of a country rock vibe. So that is definitely my least favorite out of these. And I would say that's the part of the not essential part of this box set. The rest to me is essential. I was at the record store for every one of these, including my number 2, including my number 4 is Crazy from the Heat, the EP. I know they're all cover songs, but I mean, 3 out of 4 of these, I didn't even know they were cover songs when they first came out. I couldn't tell you. I'd never thought about that kind of thing. Of course, I knew California Girls was a cover song, and then when you find out they're all 4 cover songs. On the back, the track listing, but I just think this is a great little EP. It's a real departure from anything that Dave did with Van Halen. And it's just a fun little EP. I love Coconut Grove. It's Easy Street. The videos for this, You know, I think, but that was Eat 'em and Smile. You know, I just watched the one video the other day, and at the end of the little skit, Dave comes in, he goes, "Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut to go." I just was laughing. I remember that video, but yeah, there's number 4. Coming in at number 3. Now, my number 3 and number 2 are actually closer than I thought. They are closer than I thought they were going to be. But coming in at number 3 is Skyscraper from 1988. So this, no cover songs on this whatsoever. A great collaboration between everybody. I think pretty much everybody, with Billy, Steve, and even Greg, the drummer, have some writing contributions on this album. And yeah, closer than I thought with my number 2. But I did not show you the centering for this one, but it is the same as the original. And some awesome tracks on this album. My favorites would actually Knucklebones. That's a really good opener for sure. Just like Paradise, I know it's a little overplayed, things like that, but it's a great song. It's just a fun song. Where are we? Stand Up, love that track. Perfect Timing. Two Fools a Minute. So I think why this one edges out, or why my next one edges this one out, it's just there's better songs on this next one. But so there is my number 3. And coming in at number 2 is A Little Ain't Enough. Just a solid album produced by Bob Rock, which I didn't mention, but Skyscraper was produced by Ted Templeman, which you know him from the Van Halen fame and other acts that he's produced. But coming in at number 2 is A Little Ain't Enough. This one, and the one thing I didn't mention yet, is just Dave's ability to get together with really good guitar players. So you got Steve Vai. The last full non-covers album, the DLR Band, was with John 5, which is a decent album too. I would actually put that over Your Filthy Little Mouth any day. It's a much better album. And Jason Becker, who appears on this album. So he's not full on he does all the lead work. Writing credits, he only has writing credits on the last 2 tracks, which is It's Showtime and Drop in the Bucket, which are both awesome tracks. You know, he's a shredder. He's from, I think that Shrapnel label. But you definitely can tell he's on there. And those 2 songs, they really bring back, they touch on what Van Halen was doing, because Van Halen they always had so many different great sounds on their albums. They weren't afraid to try things, but let's check out some more on this album. Lady Luck, one of my favorite tracks on here, which is co-written by Craig Goldie, which is a guy from Dio for sure. Craig Goldie appeared on one of my favorite Dio albums, which is called Dream Evil. So he wrote that with Dave, and then some other stuff that I really like on here, which is A Little Ain't Enough. Great track. We already mentioned Lady Luck. 40 Below. Dave and his oh and stuff like that is, oh yeah. He throws in those all throughout the album. And Last Call, one of my favorite tracks on here for sure. And like I said, produced by Bob Rock. So there's my number 2. Leaving only number 1, or 1 left, which you already know. You're playing along at home. But this one came out in 1986, and it's always been my favorite of the Dave solo stuff. So this came out the same year as 5150, but I'll be honest with you, I played this one more. Still like 5150, but this one was just a little bit, I don't know how you would say it, I don't know, just different. Obviously, you got Sammy coming into the band. They changed directions with a little more keyboard heavy, things like that. Which so did, I didn't mention that either, on Skyscraper, they really hit the keyboards too, but that one, that Skyscraper has really aged well for me. I actually like it more today than I did back in the day. But Eat 'em and Smile, top to bottom, I know out of the 10 songs, there is technically there's 4 cover songs, which would be, excuse me, Shy Boy, which was brought to the band by Billy Sheehan. I don't know if it was a Tallis song before and then reworked for this album. I'm Easy is a cover song. Tobacco Road is a cover song. And That's Life is a cover song, which at the time in 1986, I had no idea, didn't care. Didn't find out till probably years later that those were cover songs, because they were, David Lee Roth and the band just made them their own. So a song like Tobacco Road, it was fine with me. I thought it was just a Roth song. But so many great tracks on here, leading off with Yankee Rose and Steve getting that guitar to talk. Great video for that too. Going Crazy, which probably stems from, because the whole line is Going Crazy from the Heat, which is the title from the EP. Couple real favorites. Well, one of my favorites on here is Big Trouble. And that's where, those Dave lyrics, just out of nowhere lyrics that just, they're fun, they're unusual, but they fit the music. So that is a great song to check out too. And where are we here? Bump and Grind, another good one too, produced by Ted Templeman. So there's my number 1, and there is my kind of my take on this set. If you're a fan of Van Halen and David Lee Roth, I mean, go pick it up. I don't know, I can't see this whole box set coming out on vinyl the way I just showed you, but those individual albums, I'm sure they'll be coming within a couple of months. So just hold out if you're just trying to add those last 2 to your collection. So hope you enjoyed that one. Until next time, stay heavy.